Hey everybody, welcome back to Board Games with the Family. This is going to be the first part of our gameplay run through. So what I've done, I've set up the board, or the play area I should say. Over here we've got our draw pile. Here we've got the offering, so these are where we're going to draw new objectives from. And I've got the bonus tiles up here that we went through in the rules overview. I've got a spare pile of these Legionnaire meeples in case we need them. Here is a discard pile. I'll explain how that came about. And then I've got the 3 players areas. So I've got player 1 here, player 2 here, and player 3 here. I've just remembered how to actually give player 2 there 7 meeples. So that should be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay, now you might say, wait a sec, player 2's got 6 cards, everybody else has only got 3. The reason for that is I just thought I'd show you this part of the game. So at the beginning of the game, each player is dealt 6 objectives. And what they do, they then discard down to 3. So it's a bit to mitigate against starting hands, etc, etc. So I've already done that for player 1 and player 3. I just thought I'd try and talk you through some of my logic of why I've picked the cards I've picked for player 2. Now, I should probably point out that I'm not an expert at this game, and a lot of this is just kind of done by guesswork, really. So, up here, this is the gold resource. So this is worth an extra 5 points at the end if I can control gold. It's usually worthwhile keeping it, so that was an immediate pick for me. Then this one is way too good to pass up, particularly if you get it dealt in your first hand. This gives you permanently an extra 2 meeples. And remember, you get 7 to start the game with. Why do you want more? Because it gives you flexibility. You'll probably see a bit later on where I start to run out of meeples, and you know, the more meeples you have, the easier it is to make decisions. Now, out of these two are identical, exactly the same requirements, exactly the same power. I'm not massively interested in senators, where I've already got a green one that I'm going to work towards, so it makes sense to take the green objective. So he's going to get discarded straight away because I don't need both of them. So then I've got these 3 left, and this really just came down to a bit of what did I feel like doing. Looking at the starting cards I already picked, I don't need a lot of daggers. So although this is really powerful, because obviously dagger is the rarest token in the bag, I just wasn't sure I was going to need it, and I'll possibly regret that. So I'm going to discard him as well, which kind of came down to these 2 really. So I've already got 1 green and 1 pink. And these are both greens as well. So ideally you might say, well, keep all 3 greens and try and get this one. But to be honest, this is only 4 points anyway, and I'd rather have the gold. So it kind of came down to which one do I discard. And I kind of went with discarding this one, purely because this one is only worth 3 points. Excuse me. It's only worth 3 points, and again, it allows me to put people on banners this time. And again, I've got 1, well, that will be completed anyway. I've only got 1 other one here. So again, it might not be the best decision, but I'm going to get rid of him. Which basically gives me this, and at the end of the game, this will score me 3 points for every banner that I've got assigned, to a maximum of 15 points. So I'll just move all these down to my play area. So this is a play area. This will be where completed cards go. And let's start. So, although it doesn't matter, this will be, essentially player 1 will be the first town crier. I'm just going to leave the bag over here for now. I might have to move it later. And he's drawn swords. Not a big surprise, because swords, remember, is the most common objective. So let's have a look, and let's have a look what player 1's going to do. So this card here, I should probably, actually before we start, let me just talk about the actual cards. What everyone's got. So this one here is no power at all, but worth 14 points. But it is an orange card. You might not be able to see that. That is orange and that's pink. So that's quite nice to have, but only nice if other oranges come out. I'm just going to turn the light on. The problem is I think I might get a bit of glare, so we'll see how it goes. That might be a bit better. So that's orange. And by the way, in the offering, which you do know when you draw the cards, there are no other orange cards out. Okay. So the chance of getting the this 10-point bonus may not happen, but he's still got his eye on the 6-point one. And you remember you need an orange for that. But I have to say, he's not massively high in his list of priorities. This one, however, this one is a really useful card. This one, the power here, you get an extra objective. So again, it's always nice to be able to choose more objectives and you've got more variety. And then finally, this one here is a permanent bonus where any shield you can count as chariots and vice versa. But obviously there aren't any swords on this one, so he's going to, out of these two, he could put them on either card. He's going to put them on this one. Coming to player 2. Now this is interesting because, remember this is all open information. And I'll tell you, actually, so we'll come to player 3 first. So player 3, this power is a permanent chariots count as catapults. This one has no power, it's just worth 8 points, and is really easy to complete. This one here is another orange card, and also the victory point here is that any orange provinces count for 6 points. So both player 1 and player 3 are going to be really interested in any orange cards that come out. Player 2, not so much. But the other thing you might notice here, he's got the gold. So player 3 and player 2 both have gold objectives. And remember, they can both see this. So, coming to this player, remember this will all be done normally simultaneously. So he's kind of thinking, I mean, this is one he really wants to complete first, but he can't do it at the moment. He doesn't really want to complete this one until player 3 has completed his gold, because remember the rule, whoever matches gets to keep the token. So he is going to place one here, but his objective actually is to try and get this one first. And this one he wants to complete after player 3 has completed their gold. And also remember, just there are no gold or wheat for that matter in the offering. So then we'll come to this guy, and he can't play on that card. This one doesn't really give anything useful. It gives 8 points, but it's quite easy to complete. So he's just going to go for this one, and he wants to complete his gold and his get that orange bonus. So that's that token resolved. Go back to the bag. And we have a chariot. So start with this player again. Has he got anything on here he can play? Yep. Now this is an interesting choice. Does he want to play on this one or this one? No, he can't play on this one anyway, and he's not massively fussed. He will do this one, but probably later on. This one, he's got that objective card. This one, remember, gives a permanent bonus, which is always nice having that permanent bonus. But he's kind of... although there's... Yeah, he will do this. He wants to complete this one first because he's also quite interested in getting probably this card. Bear in mind, he's already got 2 pink objectives. This one will give him his third, which will give him 8 points, which is really, really nice to have. But more importantly, this one, any pink will count for 4 points at the end. So he could go just completely down a pink strategy. Okay, so it was a chariot. Now this, so again, he doesn't want to play on this one because he doesn't want to complete his gold. He easily wants to complete this one first. So he's going to place there. Player 3. Again, he doesn't massively want to rush this one. So he may as well go for this here. Okay. Next. We have a shield. So, is there a shield? Yep, there is one. There's one just there. So he's now 1 token away from completing that. Again, 1 token away from completing that. And I should point out, by the way, that if you haven't noticed, if you're never quite sure of which which token is rarer than the others, these always list them in order from common to rare. And that's the wrong meeple from the wrong place. I think I did that last time actually. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, sorry, I took a meeple from the wrong place before. And it was a shield. So he wants to place on there. He can't. He actually can't place on there. So for now, he's going to place on here, and it's kind of not helpful to spread yourself too thin. Remember, you only have 7 tokens, so he can't possibly complete all 3. However, something that I didn't mention in the rules, you can always move meeples out. I mean, not always, but let's say, let's assume I didn't want to place that for some reason. I could have moved this from here to there. Okay, I don't want to, so I will do that. But you'll see that as people run out of meeples, they might start moving around. Okay, next we have the Jack. So here's an interesting choice. So, why is it an interesting choice? Because, now normally you'd think, well, yeah, you want to complete it, don't you? But he's got a chariot. Chariots, I mean, sorry, catapult. Catapults, mind you, there are only 3 in the bag. Does he go for that, or does he take the opportunity to place it on one of the daggers? Okay, he will... For now, it's early in the game. I think he'll place it on there, and he'll say, "Are they Caesar?" This player will come here. This is... It's too good to waste on a shield. Shield is the most common thing in there. And also, there's nothing in the offering that he's particularly excited on getting. Now, he could see quite easily, and again, remember, this is all open information, that his objective, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. Nope, but take my word for it. That's number 16. This one over here is number 35. So this player would easily complete first, and if he was in a rush to complete first, if there was something he really wanted, then it would make sense. But actually, he's looking at the offering and thinking there isn't really much tempting out there. So he's tempted to let player 1 complete first, draw one of the cards, replenish it, and hope something tasty comes up. So instead, he's going to go for this banner. So you're going to start also a 3rd card. Again, not usually sensible, but remember, he doesn't want to complete the gold. He's desperately trying to stay away from that. And this player is got a Jack. So he's probably going to come on here, and he's probably going to try and complete this one first. The reason I didn't play on this one, although it's tempting, it does take 6 of your 7 meeples. So that's going to be quite a hard one to complete. Now, because Jack was placed, these all go back in the bag. It's shuffled, hopefully, and then essentially player 2 would now be the I need to call it the bingo caller, the town crier. That's what I was looking for. So new round starts. Swords. So again, we'll come back to here. Oh, sorry. We will do that in a sec. I completely forgot we had an Ave Caesar, and this is the danger of trying to play multiple hands. So Ave Caesar, nobody else called. So what the first thing we do is we take all these off, we put them there. This comes into the play area, into his, completed area. And now he can choose, well, in this case, 2 objectives. And the rules don't make clear whether or not you're allowed to replenish in between drawing multiple objectives. So first of all, he definitely wants this one. And then for the sake of argument, I'm going to assume that yes, you do replenish. I'm pretty sure the rules don't make it clear. If anyone wants to correct me, then they can. And now he's got another interesting choice. So remember the situation. To get the 6-point bonus here, he would need an orange, pink, green, and a senator. Well, he's got orange in his hand. He's obviously already completed a pink. There is no green out, and there are lots of senators, but none of the senators have massively interesting powers. So instead, what he's going to do is take this pink. This pink is easier than this one. Although this, you might think, oh, but you can kill other people's objectives. It never actually seems massively as exciting as you might think. So I'm going to ignore that one, and I'm going to grab this one. So he's now got 4 objectives. And then we flip that over. And then a gold one comes out. So now these 2 are going to perk up suddenly and think, oh, now if I can complete the gold, even if they do get that one, we'll try and grab that. So he's definitely going to try and complete his one first. Now, bonus tiles, he's only completed 1, so he can't grab either of them. And the one he completed didn't have the gold or the wheat. And so there's no bonus. So now we can go on. So now we drew the sword, remember? And now we'll start placing. So he's now got 4 things, and this card suddenly becomes key to his strategy. Remember, he wants this one, so he's going to place a meeple there. This player hasn't actually got anything to place. He's got absolutely no swords, which is relatively unusual, so he's not going to be able to partake. And this player He now really wants to complete one quickly. He can't complete this one quickly, so I mean, swords, again, there aren't any on this one, otherwise he would have played it. So he's going to play it on this card here. And now we'll draw another card. I'm going to move the bag over. And we get Chariot. So, there's Chariot. Looking at these, I think... Yeah, we'll go for this one first. And there's a Chariot. So now it's interesting. Now it depends what card comes out as to who gets the gold card. It's a Catapult. So Catapult helps... Oh, actually, stop this guy. So, has he got any Catapult? Yep, he's got one on this card that he wants to complete. This guy really wants to get a card finished. I don't think he's going to be able to, so he's going to place that there. And then this guy, however, says, Ave Caesar. Nobody else has completed, so again, we go through the process. These come off into the pool. This moves into the play area. So now, and I'll probably forget this all the way through the game, but basically whenever a Chariot is drawn, he can count it as Catapult and vice versa. But I will warn you now, I will forget that. And then we draw another card. And the one he wants is really obvious. He really desperately wants this gold. And then we'll draw. Okay, now this is another interesting one. It's another orange one, another 6-point orange one. So if he can get that, suddenly he's going to get 12 points for every orange card he gets. So again, he's desperate to get that. This guy, not so fussed. If it comes up, he'd like it. This guy, really not bothered about it. So what I'm going to do, it's 17 minutes. I'm going to pause the game there, and then we will come back and we'll carry on.